Here we are in a new Kotlin project that we're calling 3B for basic types. And we're first going to look at arrays. So we have our basic type package, and the first Kotlin file or Kotlin class is called arrays. So we have our main function here. For those of you that are not familiar with arrays, they are a single declaration with multiple values. So we can declare, say, numbers here, but give it multiple values. And these values are actually kept. The Kotlin compiler actually keeps track of the sections of memory where the values are kept. And the values are kept in specific positions. So that's also important. The value and the position in the array are important. Here's, we are declaring our arrays, so we have our var here, so we can see that is mutable, and we can see here how the arrays are initialized. So this number is of type int, and it has these 5 values. Now, it's important to know that arrays are 0 indexed, so the first member is the 0th member, second member is the first, the third member is the second, and so on. So we can see here the values, and some are of mixed type. We can see here, so that's one thing Kotlin gives us that's really useful. We declare it as type any, and the way that we pass in, Kotlin makes these inferences of the type of data. So that's important to know too. And then we can also enforce types as well. So even though we're declaring this as integer, you can see here array of, and we're using this int here as enforcement, and then we pass in the values. So again, array indexing is very important. So in this array of double variables, we can see here that the 0th member is actually 4. And then a little bit later on, something for you to try, you can remove these comments and actually print out how that we can return the members of the array at different positions. So you can see here first element, second element, and so on. So we can remove these comments, and then we can try other ways to access the members. Here we have some primitive arrays, and these correspond to Java data types. So we can see here characters, notice the single quotes, and then we also have our int arrays here that correspond to the Java ints. For creating arrays, so this is how we will create an array. In this case, we're doing a calculation, so we're declaring the array type, the size, and then we're doing a calculation. And what this will do is iterate through the members because it knows the size. And we can see here that we are actually outputting, just getting some data from some of these arrays. So here is one way to access the members of an array, is to use a for loop and to iterate through each position in the array. Let's take a look here. If we run it, what we'll do in this case, because we have multiple classes, we will select the class that we want to run so we don't get confused. We'll right click, and from the context menu we will select run, in this case arrays KT. Let it compile, and then we'll see our output here. So we are outputting the members of our string, of our int array, of my int array. We can see them here. Then we are outputting the members of animal. So we can see dog, cat, dog, lion, tiger. And then a little bit later on, we're also going to try, you'll remove these comments, and it will go to my square array, where we were actually building the array, and we'll run this as an exercise to output its members.